Hey, good morning. Yes, I said morning. I know usually I am this woman is at 12 o'clock on Fridays, but today we are here at 8 a.m. on a Friday. And the reason why is because my guest today, Kaye Doran, is all the way down under in Australia, and it is 8 p.m. there. So we had to kind of work it out and figure out what time so she wouldn't be like falling asleep on the show. So, right, exactly, because I was like, we were just talking about it before. But I'm so super excited to invite you to the show, to invite you here. And I love our topic today. So, every time I have someone on the show, I'm always like, what is it that we're going to bring to it? And we decided to talk about fear. And what I love about this is that how it is almost a signpost, right? And it's allowing you to direct it beyond your current comfort zone. So, welcome to the show.
Oh, Barbara, thank you so much. And yes, because I have actually been booked in once for very late and I actually fell asleep in the lounge and missed it. So, blessings to you for making this work. And, I've been looking at what you've been doing for quite some time now, and I just feel so aligned with where you come from and who you are and what you're about. So I'm feeling very, very honored and very blessed to be here and have this conversation with you right now.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. When we're talking about fear, because I have to tell you, fear is one of those things that can grab you and hold you. And we're always trying to almost like get rid of fear. But the thing about it is that one of the conversations you're saying is, no, let's flip that, right? And how can we use fear, right, as our guide, to really guide us to what we're up to. So while I go ahead and share this on your page, talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, Barbara, I've been working with women and people for 30 years and doing my journey longer. And what I started to recognize was there were teachers out there that were saying, you've got to get rid of this, you've got to get rid of that. And I'm the sort of person where it's like, I try everything for myself, right? That's how I know that it works or it does. And I realized that the more I was trying to suppress, like a tantrum throwing child, the louder it became. Don't ignore me, and then it sort of envelopes us. Yeah. And I started to really look within and explore and pray and meditate and what is it really? And I've realized that everything actually has a positive purpose for us. We just need to come to understand that. And I love to work predominantly with people that are, moving beyond their comfort zone. So they want to create a change in a particular area of their life and they need to, and it's bigger than who they've been and where they've been. And fear is actually going to come up. And what I've come to understand is fear is actually a signpost saying, hey, you're heading in the right direction. Yeah. However, you're going to have to grow into that person and into that result. Right. So then it becomes a friend because it's like it's telling me, do you know what I mean? Rather than something that I've got to try to get rid of. Now, feelings have a lot of power to them, Barbara. We all know that as women, don't we?
Oh my gosh, I feel like that we live in our feelings. Everything is our feelings. Yes.
Oh my God. And I'm an empath and I'm a sensitive, and so I get it. But what I've realized is, and what I've come to understand, and in particularly with working with so many people, is that the feelings aren't necessarily our truth. Okay, so, and I just pause there because it's like the feelings are not necessarily our truth. They feel real,
right? But
they're not necessarily our power and potential and the voice of that.
Yes.
Okay.
I love that you said that because what I think about the feelings are, it's almost like we have an index, a little Rolodex, and we're like, okay, this is happening. And then we roll it back to something that has happened years ago, right?
Yeah.
And we pull it out until we connect it that way,
Yeah.
So,
well, what happens is those false stories, and you're right on track there, Barbara, those false stories live in our unconscious. Now, then we have the subconscious that's going, I'm going to say yes to everything you direct me in. So I'm useless. Okay, so yes, let's create experiences so you can respond and feel useless.
Right.
I'm fearful. So let's create experiences so you can respond and feel that way. Okay, I'm a victim. People are terrible. So the subconscious is like, yes, yes, yes. And the unconscious, all those false stories and perceptions that we've built way back when are generally what's ruling us. Right. Then there's that other voice that gave us that idea, that gave you the idea to go for, I am this woman, that just hits you in those moments.
Right.
And you feel so aligned. The problem is that's the weaker muscle. Okay. So then the subconscious, there's been an agreement that's gone on going, pull me back to what's familiar. Okay. Keep me safe, because we created these stories when we were a lot younger to protect us, to keep us safe. But we're adults now.
Correct.
So they don't serve the same purpose.
Right. Right. Okay. And with everything that's going on right now, I think we are living not only a fear, like we're living a fear conscious world. Like it's so heavy and it's so much. And I know, it's so interesting. I was telling you before, I was listening to Marie Folio, who says, when you look at fear, it's like it's coming up. So give it a name. So my name for fear is smushy, so when you say smushy, I'm feeling smushy. And it kind of like goes, okay, because building something like I Am This Woman and doing a show and going for it and really being out there, it can bring up a lot of fear and a lot of doubt and things like that. But I love the fact that you're saying is like, let's use fear as that guidepost to what we're up to.
Fear is my friend. So I suppose my name for fear that I say to people is, it's your friend. It's telling you you're heading in the right direction.
Right.
Put yourself in the driver's seat, buckle in, and put that fear and that self-doubt and uncertainty in the passenger seat. Like, have you ever been on a road trip with a really annoying person and you just wish that they would just be quiet, but you drive anyway?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's so good. And I always say like this, I always say that I went to a course and amazing instructor. And he says like, you have all these different personas. And so my lowest persona, my one that lives on fear is Jane. And so I told Jane, you've driven my car long enough. I need you in the back seat. I don't even let her sit in the passenger seat.
I love it.
Yeah, I love you and I appreciate you for what you're doing, but you cannot sit next to me. Sit in the back seat and go ahead, give me the guides. But okay, it's time. We got to move on from that. So I think that's fantastic, and I appreciate that a lot.
But what I want to do now is let's have a discussion about when you feel that fear. So what can you do? So it's to me, it's taking all that negative that we perceive as negative and going eyeball to eyeball with it. So there's no point going, oh, it's my friend, and underneath you're going, no, it's not, it's my enemy. So we need a few tools of how we can actually deal with it. So here are a couple of things that are really powerful.
Love it.
First thing is finding someone that's not going to want to try to fix it, and you look them in the eye, and you could also do this via writing. But the statement is, so say, for example, I'm like, okay, Barbara, I'm going to address some fears. I don't need you to fix it. I don't need you to respond.
Right.
Just let me connect with you, or either on paper. So I would start by saying, these are my fears. They're not my truth. And then I would name my fears. Okay. So I'm afraid that, I Am This Woman is not going to be successful. I'm afraid that I don't have enough knowledge to do this. I'm afraid that, do you know what I mean? People will laugh at me, or whatever it might be. And then you finish it off with saying, those were my fears. They're no longer my truth. Okay, because you've really been eyeball to eyeball with them. You've not tried to suppress, you've not hidden, you've not trying to pretend to be positive. This is a positive thing to do. So this is part of the problem. People are pretending to be positive, But again, that's
Right.
a suppression mechanism. That's an avoidance tactic.
I love that. I love that. Like, these are my fears. They are not my truth.
Yeah.
And then those were my fears. They are no longer my truth. I
Yeah.
mean, that right there just is so good. And I have Jorge watching us saying hi, early birds. Jorge, we're early birds because Kate is all the way down under 12-hour time difference. So she gets to, yes, she gets
Yeah.
to be, yes, I 8 o'clock for me is still a workable solution. So it's good. But that is really fantastic because we so live on our fears and we allow our fears to kind of hold us back. But if we can look at it and say, those were my fears, they're no longer my truth. What a powerful statement that you're making.
I did that the other weekend with my husband. I'm up leveling my business, and suddenly it was like, oh my God, and I'd felt overwhelmed with the grandchild and this and all sorts of other things happening, and tied in with COVID. And I just said, right. And I just looked at him and I said, I've got to tell you my fears. So this is exactly what I do. These are my fears. They're not my truth. I threw them all out there. I verbalized them all and said, okay, so they were my fears. They're not my truth. And you feel it diminish.
Yes.
It's been acknowledged. Don't we all thrive with acknowledgement?
Yes, for sure. And I'm literally writing this down so I can post it for myself somewhere so that when I am going through that, and especially as I am building up the business, as I am working on my website and doing everything, and I love how everything comes together because the last week has been intense for me going, what am I doing? What am I doing? So when you say something like that, I love to say, like, those were my fears. They are no longer my truth. And that just is so good.
It's really powerful. You know what it's like, Barbara? It's like, some people will say to me, oh my God, Kaye, but that's so simple when I get them to do things. And I go, well, I can complicate it for you if you like. However, I can sit here and I could type you an email and you would get it within a minute, less.
Right.
Okay, seems really simple, doesn't it? But what's going on in the background is really complex. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's brilliant. You're right. Because it's what's going on. And those few flipping of the words really, really supports that message. This is going on my desk. It's my new thing. Thank you so much.
Now, the next thing is sometimes we have such an emotional charge to what we're feeling, right? Where it's just feels like overwhelm in the body. So here's another tip. And this takes a bit of discipline, okay? But the more that you can practice it or say to a friend, help me and take me through this. But this is, again, simple, but really powerful. So you feel it in your body. So I generally will say to someone when they're really stuck in it with that emotional reactiveness, where do you feel it in the body? Okay, so again, we're turning our vision back inwards. Where do you feel it?
Right.
Well, it might be in the stomach, it might be in the chest, might be in the throat, wherever it might be. Then you're going to breathe into it. So that the intention is you're breathing in to connect to the energy of it. Nice. And then you're going to release it, but you're going to, not a controlling breath like in childbirth, which is, and you're going to stay breathing with it. And then you're going to track it because it will move in the body. So if it's in the stomach, it might move to the chest, it might move to the throat, might move to, and you don't stop that process until it's lifted. Because everything in its purest form, Barbara, is energy. We get caught up in thinking that we have to analyze and no, we don't. We feel it, and it only takes a second to feel, and then we can do something with it. So if you really feel the charge in your body of an emotion, where do I feel it? Using your breath, the intention is you're connecting in and you're moving it out of the body, and then you track it until it's completely gone.
Perfect.
Incredibly freeing.
That's incredible. And it's so, I think it is so incredible, especially there. I'm always challenging it, especially in the private group. It's like, what are you up to? Like, I always call it honoring your truth. Like
Yeah.
within you is your truth. So how are you honoring your truth, you know?
Yeah.
And so every time when I kind of have doubts or fears or everything, I'm always like I am this woman is my truth, you
Yeah.
know. and
Yeah.
and so that's one of the things I do is really, I am choosing this. I am, and we talked about the choice, and we talked about like I am literally making the choice to do this, making the choice to put that energy into I am this woman and keep going. And now I love the fact that now I have this other tool that when I do see that, those were my fears, they are no longer my truth, because the truth for me is everything within that.
And the truth is that whisper that's calling you.
Yes.
You can call that the divine, you can call
Mhm.
that your inner power and potential, you can call that your highest self, you can call that your super conscious mind. But that
Right.
is the part of you that's already existing in the creation of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jorge said something. He said something. I like to use the phrase honoring my sovereignty. And that's a powerful kind of
Yeah.
statement of that. And I love that because it really is that. And we've got Maya watching, and she's like, "Hey Barb, hi Maya, thank you so much for watching." And we have Kay here, and we're talking about fear, and we're talking about how fear can be a guidepost. So, we're super excited. We're here a little early because Kay is down under. And so I didn't want her falling asleep on the show. And I love that I'm meeting people all over the world because I
Yeah.
love to travel. So one day I'm going to come and visit Kay. So, I'm going
And
down
you know
there.
what, Barbara, your message and your intention is so aligned with who I am and my business as well. And
Love it.
it's just, yeah, it's just an important message for all people, but women in particular,
Yes.
and this thing of not trying to suppress, and that fear
Right.
really is telling us we're heading in the right direction, and we don't have to fix anything. We're not broken, ladies. We are not broken.
Thank you for saying that. Like to me, we are such powerful beings, and there's so many people who have so much like passion and things to do, and that's my thing, is that what I am this woman is about is bringing on people like you onto the show to encourage and to remind them like you can do this. So you said something before we went live, and I'm going to pull it up because I love this. I choose, therefore I am.
Yeah, yeah. So, but people talk about affirmations, and for years they go, "Oh my God, Kate, affirmations don't work." No, they don't. Here's why: they're too long-winded, and we say too many of them. If you
Hmm.
want to go for the bullseye in the dartboard, you go straight for the bullseye. It's all about powering things up. So, let's take out all the waffle language, all the filler, and so many things can be woven in. Like when I'm working with women and they'll say 5 different things, and I go, that's actually one thing.
Right. Yeah.
It's home. But the thing is, when we talked about the unconscious, where all the fears and those old
Hmm.
stories, self-doubt, and I'm not good enough, and all the rest of it come from the non-truths. Okay. Then we need to choose
Yes.
that divine truth, that super conscious truth, that personal inner power. I like to use all the words because everyone aligns with a different
Yes.
language. It's all the
Right.
same. Okay. So the way that we do that is we go, I choose. So I choose a life I love,
Right.
because it is our choice.
It's so much our choice.
My thing, if you look at my website, is the power of choice is in your hands. You
Hmm.
choose, no one else does it for you. I choose, therefore I am. So I choose to be successful, therefore I am successful. I choose to be loved and loving, therefore I am love and loving. I
Loving.
choose to live a life I love, therefore I am living a life I love. I choose to be healthy and vibrant. So that's so empowering because I'm choosing it, therefore I am it.
Yeah.
Regardless of my fears, regardless of my doubts, regardless of insecurities, they're all non-truths.
It's
Here's
so
the
true.
truth. Yeah.
And it's so perfect. It's like there it is. There we go. And then this ties in perfectly to what you said about acceptance and integration. Because to me, it's like you're saying, like I choose like I choose, I am this woman, therefore I am this woman. And
Yes.
I that just makes me feel all gushy
It's the
inside.
stake in the ground, Barbara.
It
It's the
really is.
stake in the ground, you
Yes,
know?
yes.
Yeah,
I am conquering, I'm taking this over,
yeah.
I'm doing this. And I
And
love that with the and then acceptance and integration into
well,
that.
the acceptance is, we're all horribly human. We all have doubts. We can all behave,
Right.
appallingly, what we perceive as appallingly. But again, the more we deny that, the
Right.
louder that behavior becomes.
Hmm.
People talk about self-love. Well, I think
Hmm.
self-acceptance leads to self-love.
Exactly.
Forgiving. I have this thing, hand on heart, that I get people to do, and I live by. I don't ever ask anyone to do anything I don't live by. Love, compassion, understanding, and acceptance. Love, compassion, understanding, and forgiveness.
Yeah.
Self and for others, but for self first, because you can't give it to others unless you can give it to self.
And it's such a simple concept. It's such a simple thing to say that, and then we still go into this fear, as the fear is the big dark. Oh my gosh! And I love this story I heard about. The village heard this monster, and it was up in the mountains, so they never went up to the mountains. And finally, one person went up to the mountain, and by the time they got up there, it was about this big. Because
Yeah,
we make our fears so large, and then we
yeah.
stop and what you're saying is no, like there it is, be smart about it. Our fears were created in the first place. It was like when they have the saber-tooth tigers and coming after you, and you have to be prepared for
Yeah.
that. Well, that's to my check, there's no saber-tooths out there. So we know that there are things that are going to have that we can be fearful of, but I know people right now who are so fearful, even what's going on now with COVID, that they're literally locked in their house. Like they won't
Well,
work, they won't do.
the thing there, Barbara, is that there's not necessarily the threat, but again, it's
Right.
that past the comfort zone. This is so new for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so everyone has that right to feel that fear, and everyone
Yes,
will. And I went through it at times, but again,
absolutely.
I understand though that it's like, okay, so everything's changing. I'm getting past my comfort zone.
Right.
So the thing is, are you going to listen to the stories of the fear,
Mm-hmm.
which is designed to pull you back?
Right.
And then globally, the news and everything, it's like my husband every morning would be telling me updates. And after a while, I said, please don't.
Stop. Right.
I
That's how I
know
am.
what's going on,
Right.
but stop. Because my daughter was pregnant with a compromised pregnancy, and it was
Mm-hmm.
just like this big, dark cloud
Right.
starting to suck the life out of me. So, watch the news and look at things and be informed.
Right.
But you
100%.
don't have to, don't be saturated in it.
Correct.
And then the thing is, I believe the opportunity, because there's always an opportunity in
Always.
adversity, is this is an opportunity for us to, again, turn our vision inwards and understand the power and potential that exists within us.
100%. And
You
there's
know?
so much power within us. And I
Yeah.
agree. Know your, like, look, be smart about it. Listen to what the people are saying. Wash your hands, put the mask on,
Yes.
social distance, do all those things. Don't close up in yourself, because we're gonna have, I think this is the first thing that is affected in such a way, worldwide, in such a way that it's almost like we have this kind of universal fear, or this whole universal doubt, and then that way we're kind of going like this with each other, so
Yeah.
it's an interesting kind of
I
dynamic.
feel like we're in a spiritual revolution.
I do
And
too.
are we going to go down the pathway of the fear, the
Hmm.
doubt, the doom and gloom? I call it the spider's web. Some people call it, like the Matrix. I call it the spider's web because we just get stuck in it.
Yes.
Or are we going to understand
Hmm.
and connect with the actual truth of who we are as spiritual beings having a physical experience, understand how energy works, understand why we've been given this mind,
Hmm.
and which aspect of the mind to put in the driver's seat,
Right. Yeah.
not the unconscious drive fueling the subconscious, the superconscious, the divine, whatever you'd like to call it,
Right.
fueling it. That one's illusionary. It feels very real,
Very
but it's
real.
not.
Right.
So I choose. And then the more that you actually do that choice,
Mm-hmm.
the stronger that muscle becomes.
Right.
But it
Yeah.
never actually disappears. I've been doing this, my own personal journey, for over 30 years. I still have fear. I still have
Are you
self-doubt. I
kidding? I
still
am
have,
always. I'm terrible.
you know,
I The last week has been, what am I doing? What do I think I'm doing? Who am I to create a show? Who am I to create courses? Who am I to do all this? And then, that's the thing about it is, so I have it, and I'm like, okay,
who are you not to, Barbara?
exactly. That's how I look at it. I was born to do this. Are you kidding?
So
I was
feel
born.
that
Yeah.
and choose to do it anyway. Like, get
Yeah.
comfortable with feeling uncomfortable and know that you're at that precipice
Hmm.
of your comfort zone. We have like a double elastic band around us, one that connects us to the old,
Right.
the familiar, the safe, that I know this front
Hmm.
and center on stage. I know how to do this me really well.
Right.
And then the other elastic band of that part of you that's calling you, the power and potential. It says you've already achieved this. Come.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
you get to that point, and of course, one elastic band feels really tight, doesn't it?
Oh my God. Like,
And
yeah.
wants to pull us back. And if we can understand all of this, it doesn't stop the discomfort, Barbara,
Right.
but it
Yeah.
gives us the self-motivation to go, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
fear. Hello, self-doubt. Hello,
Yes.
passenger seat. You
Yes.
annoying little traveling friend,
Yes.
you know.
And thank you. And thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here to kind of guide me, but also, like, I need you to guide me, but I don't need you to, like, take over. And so,
Thank you
you
for
know,
telling me exactly
yes,
where I'm at in my
right,
life, in my
right.
growth.
Thank you. Thank you for this. Thank
Yeah.
you for this. And let me see. Okay, what's next? So
And you
one of
know
the,
what? Thank you
yeah,
for loving me enough
oh my
to try
God.
to pull me back to what you think is
Yeah.
safe for me.
What's safe for me, and know that if we're going to go forward into this unknown, I will hold your hand. I am
Yeah.
here. I am your strength. So one of the things I always do is I always ask my guests questions because I love getting into the mind and see how they are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is your vision? And when I
What is
say
my
vision,
vision?
yeah.
Oh God, basically my global vision is for women to come into some self-worth
Hmm.
and their inner power. You know, I do what I do because my passion is to get women back in the driver's seat of their life, but my purpose is for them to feel and to know their inner power.
I love that.
And when a woman reaches that, she automatically wants to reach out and share that with other women and bring them with
Yes.
them, you
Yes.
know?
That's so
Um,
perfect. That's what I Am This Woman is all about, is that
yeah,
it's not just about saying, hey, here's something that I know, but I'm like, let me connect with other women. What do you know, Kay, that you can come on and we can talk about? That's what this is all about. And I think it's so good. It's so powerful when we surround ourselves. Like I always say, who's at your table? Who's there and what are they providing you? What are they giving you? And take a look at your table sometimes because you might have some of the wrong
yeah.
people there.
Well, you know, I was just going to say that, Barbara. We're like in each other's heads. I love it because it's about, you know, my business inner expressions is all about, like, some of my values are the, you know, the integration, the connection, the authenticity. Now, here's the thing. It's about being authentic to
Yeah.
who we are, not, you know, peeling away all the masks,
Mhm.
right? And then I put it this way. We are all a beautiful note on a piano. Now, on a piano, each note on its own, it's divine.
Right.
Put some notes together,
Yeah.
not so good sound, and
Right.
then other notes. And it's okay to go, I'm changing key, I'm changing my note. This no longer works. It doesn't make the other person terrible.
Correct.
It doesn't make you terrible. It just means the resonance no longer fits, and
Right.
there are new notes to come along
Yes.
of people that resonate with you
Mm-hmm.
that sound beautiful. And if we look at it that way, then we don't have judgment. It's not,
Right.
I've got to get rid of Mary because she's a bitch.
Right.
No, no,
No.
no.
Right. Right.
Mary's being Mary.
Mary is
I've
being Mary.
shifted. I've shifted.
Yes.
I've learned to let go of things, accept, evolve, and integration. And I've changed the note that I am on the keyboard. That's all it is.
Yeah, and owning that truth of yours, owning that to say, and it's okay. And I've done that. I've done it,
Yeah.
and then what has come in place has been really beautiful.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things, and it ties into the vision thing, is back in January with Kobe Bryant's death. How about last week with, there's been so much change and death and different things that are happening, and people who we look at going, oh my goodness gracious, what's happening? But the one thing I noticed about both of these powerful men is that they left a legacy. They really, maybe they knew they were going to be on this earth for a short amount of time, but there's a legacy that's left, right? So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, what is the legacy that you're creating that you want to leave for this world?
Oh, wow. That's a really big question. The legacy that I want to leave is that we're all perfectly imperfect, that we all deserve love. We're all amazing. We all have a gift to give to the world. And we've got to stop trying to give it according to other people's agendas.
Yeah.
That
Good.
we're just all incredible.
Aren't we? That I
Yeah.
love. Our
Yeah.
tagline for I Am This Woman is celebrating women every day. And I love that because it's like so many incredible, powerful, beautiful, dynamic. And to me, your celebration might be, I got up and I made my bed this morning. Like I did. I was so excited. I got up and
Yeah,
I made my
let's
bed.
not measure our success by other
Yes.
people's. So
Yes.
when I'm coaching people, I'm like, quite often they start off with goals that are actually not their goals. They're aligned to mum or dad or to,
Right.
to whatever.
Society.
And, people go, oh, someone's so successful. Yeah, but do you know what? Some people don't want the big house or
Right.
the massive career, and they don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars. Their success, like one of my greatest successes in life, Barbara, is my family. We
Yes.
are close. We are bonded. We're accepting of each other's flaws. My husband has this saying that we've developed, which is sort of the heart of our family. We always come back to love.
Ugh.
So there might be a disconnect for a moment between, this or that, but we always come back to love. And it's always about acceptance that, let's all stop trying to be perfect. I raised, I've got 2 daughters and a son, and then a son from another mother. But we don't talk about terms of blended family. We're just family. Right.
Family.
But I remember raising my daughters, and one of my daughters in particular is very much like me, except probably even more powerful, and she's got this feistiness. And I used to say to the girls, though, one day you can do a workshop to go and get over me, because I'm going to fail you at times because I'm doing my own journey. Let everybody in your life love you, your teachers,
Always.
your
We're on this was watching
friends, and then you'll feel full. But if you only want it from me, I'm going to fail you because I'm just a human being doing my own journey. And if I come out being 80% awesome mum and 20% mess up, then I've done a good job. But my daughter went and did a workshop to get over me and came out going, oh my God, mum, all these other kids, their mothers put them down. They did. And yet you would get us to stand in front of the mirror and go, you've got to honor, if you're going to change your hair, you've got to honor who you've been up to this point. And when girls told me I had fat thighs and she's 6 foot tall, she hasn't had a fat thigh in her life, I'd go, look in the mirror. What do you see? What's the truth? And she said, I didn't realize how great my childhood was.
You don't realize until you see. So Dana, who I went to high school with, who we reconnected, and she's like such a simple concept, but so compassionate and wholesome. And I love this statement of we always come back to love.
Yeah.
Because I know I have a group of girlfriends, and I was talking to one of them the other day, and she says, we just need to get together and do a, a live or a Facebook, whatever, and connect. Because the thing about it is that that's the thing about it, always coming back to our base, and that, so that's a beautiful thing.
And everything is about love.
Oh, it always is.
When we're creating a disconnect between someone, it's because we're actually wanting love. And if we can suddenly go, that's not giving it to me. Like,
yes.
A powerful question is this bringing me what I want? If I'm behaving like, is this bringing me the outcome that I want? If it's not, then let's short circuit it.
Right. And here's the thing. Is this bringing me the outcome that I want? If not, then I need to look at this. We're always so busy saying, you do this, you do that, and all that. And so, you know what? But is this bringing me the outcome that I want? So I love that statement.
Here's the key, Barbara. Here's the key. Yeah. Proactive or reactive? Mm. If you're being reactive, you are reacting something out from the past. Mm-hmm. That's when we look at the three fingers coming back at us when we're doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
If we're being proactive, well, we're in our power. We're in our center. We're in our heart.
I love that.
So
okay.
It's a very quick key is, am I being proactive or am I being reactive?
Yeah. So tell me, in the next 45 days, what will you create?
More self-acceptance.
Love it. Yeah.
And not only myself, but within everybody. So everyone I talk to, that's what I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to take away all these illusionary things and just self-acceptance. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you celebrate yourself?
Oh, wow. Well, I meditate. I journal. I drink ceremonial cacao every now and again. I dance around the house. I make time for girlfriends. I make time for dates with my children. I speak really nicely to myself. You'll quite often see me in front of the mirror, looking into my eyes, going, I really like who you are, Kaye. You've got a great smile. You've got this. I'll go get a manicure if I feel like I need to just pamper myself that way. I'll go get body work because, I've had a few car accidents over the years, none of them my fault. And rather than now wearing the pain, I'll go and get, I'll go and look after my body, my temple. So
that's good.
I do it in lots of different ways. I'll ring a girlfriend and let's have a chat or, lots of different ways. Yeah.
I love that. So my last question, how do you honor your truth?
By living it. Oh. Living it, breathing it. This, Barbara, for me, is not spirituality, I suppose, this journey saved my life. This is not a hobby. This is not an interest. This is an absolute way of being and breathing. I talk about stabilizers to people, the things that we need in our life as much as we need air and food. So I honor it by living it, being authentic to it, and not bullshitting myself or others. Excuse the language.
No, put the language in there because you want to make sure. That's like the exclamation point. I'm letting you know. And so I love that about you. So one of the things that we do is to wrap up the show is that we always ask our guests to say their name and say, I am this woman. So if you could do that for us.
I am this woman, Kaye Doran, and I love being this woman.
I love it. And I love I'm going to tell you, this is how much you are so into who you are, is that, you took it and you flipped it to a way that works for you. And I appreciate that anytime. So guys, first of all, Kaye, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for really the energy that you bring to this world, because when you show up, then other women get to see that. And that's what this purpose of this is all about, So I so appreciate you being here. I really, really do. And I love connecting with you. So we've got to stay connected because this
Oh,
was good. Yeah.
yeah, oh, look, Barbara, we connected a while ago and set this up, and I've
Yeah.
been on your I Am This Woman, and everything about you has a resonance for me because of your authenticity. You're not hiding, you're being real. And
Thank
that's
you.
what we need. We don't need all this fluffy stuff.
Yeah.
We need the real, to cut through the crap, and so we can all feel okay with, and link arms with how we feel, and that we go through fear. We all do, and it's never going to stop,
Right.
you
Right.
know?
It's
Yeah.
not. And yeah, so this is so appropriate and so perfect. So guys, first of all, thank you for getting up early in the morning and watching with us. And if you are loving this and you're like, I love this, join our private Facebook group, which is I Am This Woman. It's a really great group to just be there to connect with. The one thing about what I'm doing and why my, as I call my fierce mushy, as where my when my squishy is kind of coming up and everything, it's because I am making some big steps and doing
Yeah.
some big things. And I am working on my first workshop, which is called Honoring Your Truth. It's a 4-week course. So I'm super excited to announce that, like really put it out there really soon. Working my tushy off on this. But I have to say, it has been one of my greatest joys to be able to do this and bring on amazing guests. And we are working on putting together the last quarter, October, November, December of guests. So if you're out there and you're thinking, wow, I would love to be on this show, I have something to share. And here's the great part. I don't care, like, what do you have to share that really impacts you? Because someone is waiting to hear that message.
Mm.
So if you're interested in that, please email us at showguests@iamthiswoman.com. And again, Kate, thank you so much. And for everyone else out there, be kind to each other, love yourself, and honor your truth. So I am Barbara Hoard, host and founder of I Am This Woman, and I am definitely this woman. Take care. See you guys next week.